So I tried then to learn more about Christianity. And with Christianity, the issues that I had was, first of all, uh, the fact that they try to change many things from the New Testament, from the Old Testament into a New Testament. Many things that were in Moses' law were kind of trying to be negated by the understanding of the gospel from Jesus. Although Jesus himself said he did not come to change Moses' law but affirm it, I could see that the Jews, the Christians, tried to change some of the things that were in Moses' law. For example, circumcision. The Christians were trying to say that circumcision was no longer necessary. The other thing was the eating of pork. The Christian teachings was starting to say that any Christian is free to eat pork, although Moses' law prohibited his followers from eating pork. Another thing was fasting. Fasting was a very important feature in Moses' religion, but the Christians tried to eradicate the concept of true fasting. They said you could just fast the food that you don't like, not physical denial of food and drink for certain periods of time, and many other discrepancies that I don't want to get into detail with in this version of my transmission. But I felt that Jews were not really, sorry, the Christians were kind of diluting Moses' law, and I therefore felt that that was not the way that I want to go, and I continued with Islam. But the last thing that I should say about Christianity is that I was not convinced with the concept of Trinity, because Jesus himself said, I'm not equal to the Father. The Father in heaven is greater than I am. So if the Father in heaven is greater than Jesus, then how come Jesus, the Son, is equal to the Father? Because they said the Trinity is a multiplicity of the unity. But one of the members of the Trinity says, I'm not equal to a higher figure, to the Father. So how are they then equal? So I didn't feel like that was convincing enough, and I felt that that was not the way I want to proceed, and I chose Islam, the religion of my father and his forefathers, as the religion that I should follow. But before I could follow it, I wanted to really make sure that it has all the aspects worth of following. But what struck me at the age of 17, I was listening to a sermon back in Uganda. That sermon was about the Isra and Miraj, and the Imam in the mosque told us that when Prophet Muhammad ﷺ ascended to the heavens, one of the things that God showed him was hell, and he saw that hell was black, had a black fire. The fire in the hell was black. At that time, I was majoring I was in high school and majoring in physics, and I knew that the hottest body was a black body. That's the body that retained the most amount of energy, of heat energy, was the hot body. So I was convinced that if a man who was a prophet at the time when these scientific phenomena had not yet been fully proved in the laboratory, could say this, then this truly must be a prophet. The next thing was the Imam said in that very lecture or we call it khutbah in Islam, that he saw an angel. An angel, half of that angel was snow, and half of that angel was fire. But the fire was not strong enough to melt the snow, and the snow was not cold enough to, or it was not strong enough to put out the fire. At that time, as I was studying physics, I knew there was a concept of latent heat. Latent heat is the point where energy is not strong enough to melt the snow, and if the snow is not melted enough, then it will not create the water to put out the fire. If you experiment and put a piece of snow on fire, or a piece of frozen mango or something like that on a fire, you may find that it takes a very long time to melt if the fire has not reached the latent heat of energy. So some of those are the things that began to click in my mind and said, this man must be truly a prophet. And I started researching more, and as I will tell you in the next series, I was truly convinced that this person was delivering a message of a higher divine power that had knowledge of everything on earth and in the heavens, and that I was therefore on the correct path of the roadmap to the Creator. وهذا السلام عليكم.